All right, y'all, what's going on? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another video, all box and everything. Make sure y'all subscribe. All right, y'all, so I came across this interview with Floyd Mayweather yesterday, and Floyd Mayweather, he was just giving his giving some inside news on what he knows about one of the biggest fights, if not the biggest fight that can be made in boxing today between Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. He was just kind of going in on certain things about the fight and when it's going to be made. And according to Floyd Mayweather, well, first off, let me just say that some of the stuff that he said in this interview is definitely going to upset or sadden a lot of boxing fans, right? Well, according to Floyd Mayweather, the Spence-Crawford fight is not happening right now. That's right. Anything you've heard off of any websites or anything you heard from a Mike Coppinger or off of Twitter or anything is just false news right now. Floyd Mayweather, he's debunking all of that. Spence versus Crawford is not happening right now. The fight may happen in the future. That's what he said in this interview. He said it may happen, but if it does, it's going to happen in the future. Nobody knows when that is, but it's not November. It ain't December. It doesn't sound like it's going to be any time in 2023. The fight is not happening right now, all right? So anything you hearing outside of what Floyd Mayweather's saying, the fight is not happening. Of course, Floyd Mayweather, he's hearing this from Al Heyman. He said he talks to Al Heyman every day. As y'all know, they're business partners. So anything Floyd is saying, I think we can take that more to gold than anything being said by an ESPN or any boxing YouTube channel at this point, right? I know it sucks, but hey, just got to bring the real, right? And when you think about it, what Floyd is saying in this interview, which I'll read through here in a minute, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, I talked about it a few weeks ago. I did a video on it when I heard about November 19th because Mike Coppinger threw it out there. He was like, "Oh, the fight's going to happen on this date. A couple of things need to be ironed out from attorneys, and boom, we have a fight," right? So I thought that was the closest we had to this, especially when November and December were being thrown out there, right? But according to Floyd, that's like what, six weeks from now. That's a month and some change. Like, how can the fight be promoted in that amount of time, right? So I thought about that too myself. I was like, November 19th seems kind of like a rush date. Even sometime in December, like December would work, but November just seems really rushed, like especially when nobody's really like officially announced it. Everything's still just hearsay, she say. Yeah, he said, she said. So Floyd Mayweather just coming out and just being real with it and just debunking all the false information and clickbait out there. I think that was necessary, because he's got to let everybody know what he knows from the inside, without giving away too much, and he just did. He said the fight's not happening. I'm sure he knows the date, but he's not letting it out there, This is what he said in the interview, though, just so y'all know I'm not BSing. He said, somebody threw it out there. I don't know who threw it out there. I'm not here to throw him under the bus, though. They keep saying the fight is going to happen. And once again, this fight may happen, but further down the future. All right. He said this fight may happen, but further down the future. They said the fight was going to happen in November 19th. We'll say a month away, a little over a month away, 6 weeks or whatever. But there's been no press tour, no press conference at all. Spence didn't post about it. Crawford didn't post about it. So please stop listening to these inaccurate writers, writing about things they don't know about. We spoke about this before. How do you know this? How do you know that? Whoever is speaking on this fight that's going to happen, I don't know who the first person is to write this. You got to realize this is a top flight company, okay? He said a lot of times people will clickbait. A lot of times people will want a lot of likes or get a bunch of hype around a certain thing or their website or anything. But as of right now, the Spence and Crawford fight is not happening. Not upset with anyone, but none of this is true. He said, once again, me and Al Heyman are business partners. Me and Al Heyman speak every day. So no one can just say I'm with Floyd Mayweather. I'm with Al Heyman as well. All right. So that's what Floyd Mayweather had to say about the fight. He knows what he knows, and he's on the inside with Al Heyman. So with Al Heyman, he knows that the fight is being discussed, and it's going to happen. May happen at some point, but any date that's being thrown out there is a no-no. And I agree, because you think about it, November 19th, though I would love to see it, I think there would still be a lot of missed opportunities as far as promotion out there, because not everybody knows who Spence Crawford is. I mean, you can win over a lot of casual fans just to, get in and see what it is, because there are some people like that just want to get in and see fights, but you need to build this type of fight up with at least like 3 or 4 months in advance. The fight actually has to be announced and be official 3 or 4 months in advance. You know what I mean? Like, so if they wanted the fight to happen in November, to me, they would have had to make it official back in July or August. That official poster would have to come out July, August saying, hey, November 19th, Spence versus Crawford for undisputed, right? So they would have needed all that time to promote, put the press tour together, have the major city visits, from New York to California, do that whole press across the country. They would have to do that to make this fight work. They would also have to have time to shoot the all access for this one. This ain't a fight you can just squeeze together some cheap stuff in 6 weeks, right? So that's not really enough time to even have it all access to me. I mean, you can get little cameramen out there real quick, but I mean, to really flesh this thing out, script it out, because it's one of the biggest fights in, both of these fighters' career, you'd have to take the time for all of this stuff, So 6 weeks, yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. I think we all just got happy at some point saying, oh, we finally getting it. But the big picture, the promotion for this thing, there's just so much money that can be made in it. There just has to be more time to promote this type of thing. But everything that's being said out there has just been, oh, Spence wants to fight Crawford. He wants to fight. It'll happen next. But that's just not enough. Knowing that these guys want to fight, that's not enough. And that's why I said, like, when people blame Crawford or they blame Spence, don't blame them. Blame the ones behind the scene that, have their finger on the button that can just, turn this fight on or turn it off when they want to. You got to blame them, because Spence and Crawford, I think what they want is money. They definitely want money, and they definitely want to be compensated for, the biggest fight in their career. But they're not stopping it. I don't think it's their demands that's stopping it. There's so many other things that, have to be fleshed out. Like I said, a lot of people behind the scenes that need to make their money as well and make sure they're guaranteed to get their money back, and that's where guys like Al Heyman and Floyd come in, because, they have their hands in other things behind the scenes, you know what I mean? So certain things have to be worked out where they say, okay, well, the fight has to happen on this date to make sure that this money can be made back for these hotels or whatever, just like things like that. I think, because I think with Crawford, what he wants, it can be given to him. It can be granted. I don't think he's holding up the fight. I don't think Spence is. They want it, but there's a lot of other people wanting other things behind the scenes, and that's what it is, So what Floyd Mayweather saying is true. It sucks, but hey, at least that's as close as we can really get to knowing anything. So anytime we hear anybody say confirmed or, oh, this is it, this is the fight, is going to happen now, based off of what somebody said on Twitter, at least we can know, we can just take that, as a grain of salt now, right? Floyd's already told us now the fight is not happening as of right now. And even then he threw in that may happen in the future, right? So let's just sit back and just kind of let it wait out. No more blaming from me. I mean, hey, if the fight happens, it happens. I'm not going to stress over it. You know what I mean? I'm just waiting for it at this point. We can still talk about it as far as like the technical side. I still love talking about boxing in that way. Like, whose skill set is better, like who really is the better fighter, right? So you'll hear videos like that from me at some point. But as of right now, the fight is not official. I don't think it's happening in the next couple of months. Probably won't happen till spring, y'all. So let's just hope it happens in the spring. Combo Breaker 99, I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.